Hello ladies and gents, welcome to the Red Dot Invitational. I'm DDK, joined by Hugo.
Hi.
And we don't have too much time for introductions or anything because I think the pistol is live. So we're jumping straight into the first match. It will be E-Frag versus Legacy. Legacy is a team animal squad. They qualified for Face League. They'll be in DreamHack Winter in a couple of weeks, but here they are playing their first matches against European teams. So already on Inferno, we're seeing Legacy actually looking pretty good here. Bomb is down.
Yeah, so Legacy now in a 4 versus 3, and of course Viktor on 1 HP on E-Frag, so it's going to mean Legacy have a bit of an advantage, especially that Molotov on ofnu. It's going to be easy to hold down and place on the bomb if they go to defuse, and it just seems like they're going to be shutting down E-Frag now. Viktor being the last one to fall, and that will be Legacy taking the pistol round, so a good start here on Inferno.
Yeah, pretty simple and sweet stuff there from Legacy. I kind of want to call them Animal Squad still because I think that name was pretty cool. But I guess we'll have to settle with Legacy. It's not too bad of a name either, I've got to say. So E-Frag is a team we haven't seen too much from for a while. There's a lot of hype around them for quite some time. And their quirky T-sides followed by some ridiculous individual performances by the likes of Brewer and Viktor. So it would be cool to see how they fare in this tournament. It is a very early days. This is only the second day of play for the Red Dot Invitational, and we'll see them force buy, which they are wont to do.
Yeah, of course, racking up these CZ75s, which we haven't actually seen as much of since the nerf of them at least. Most people, 157 E-Frag, are want to use them, and Viktor will be showing exactly why, getting the first kill there onto ofnu. So that's now the man advantage to E-Frag, but Legacy still have the equipment to work with three rifles, and 1 SMG on Moku as well.
Yeah, looks like Legacy are not going to be deterred though, still looking to push into the B-bomb sites. And E-Frag are kind of just spread out at the moment. Looks like they have one player floating away from B towards the A bomb site, so this could be a pretty rude awakening there for Viktor, who's close, but he does have a MAC-10. He's hiding in the smoke.
They're going to run right past him. This is when he could go huge. He turns around, finds one. He's going to go for the spray, but Buster will punish him there, so shutting down that hold. The bomb will be planted, but still the man advantage is on E-Frag, so this is totally doable for them. And they've still got a couple of rifles out of the hands of Legacy.
Yeah, this could be quite plausible here for E-Frag as they set up the play, waiting for the guy on banana as well as just setting up in construction. But in comes the push, and it looks like mizu and Busta able to spray the rest of them down. So it is going to be pretty well done by Legacy in the end, but could have been scary there with a nice push through the smoke. Very happy-esque stuff there from I think it was it spyleadeR or Viktor? Viktor. All right, so now into the next round, and it's going to be again potentially garbage time. We'll have to see if E-Frag can do something with nothing, more or less.
Just one smoke on Viktor, obviously, to hold down the B side, but really I don't think E-Frag are going to have much chance of taking too much out of this round. Maybe a couple of kills. They have got those PT-50s, so the one-shot headshot in close range is definitely doable. Nice position here on banana, but it's going to be shut down there. spyleadeR going down to ofnu, who just runs through the smoke with a helpful team flash from his teammate. It's going to run in, find another, and that's going to be the B side completely conquered by Legacy, so bomb should be able to go down shortly as they push it up banana, and I don't think E-Frag are really going to be able to even find exits at this point.
Yeah, it's looking pretty bad for them overall, although they did manage to find one kill onto Moku just about. There's 3 players who could potentially engage into mizu. He's going to find a one-on-one, and weapon collected by Dreamer here, and another frag as well, so it looks like pretty good. This is pretty good indeed for E-Frag. They're picking up a lot of damage here, as well as weapons. 3 rifles picked up, and can be saved. This is a little bit weird, actually.
Yeah, I'm not sure how Legacy really allowed that to happen. They 1v1 3 times and then lost all 3 rifles, so that kind of a thing you shouldn't really do at this point, especially against pistols where you can just play kind of a crazy style and not really care about if you die. You can just rush down wherever, and Legacy obviously not expecting that against this team. And yeah, Bubble getting another exit. It's going to leave just Raz there with that AK, just surviving with only 6 points of health remaining, so that's a pretty good round coming out from E-Frag. They did more damage on the round that they had to full eco instead of the one that they force bought the round before, so they're going to have plenty of money going into this 4th round here on this buy.
Yeah, I mean, the Bulgarian team is certainly going to be quite an interesting test for a team from the Oceanic region. I believe ofnu is from New Zealand. I'm not sure if anybody else in the lineup is actually from New Zealand, but I think the rest are Aussies, and they're going to be definitely a little bit... Oh, Raz also from New Zealand, as well as ofnu, but they'll be definitely a little bit surprised as to the style of play from E-Frag. They are one of the more stylish teams.
Yeah, especially on this side.
We have the basic map control plays not going too well so far for Legacy, losing a man on banana, so no banana control for them just yet.
But E-Frag in a very advantageous position here with 5 versus 4 on the CT side. Legacy are going to have to come up with something interesting to try and get back into this round. With no trade frag early on, they're going to have to go for another pick, and I don't think E-Frag are really going to allow that at the moment. You can see they're doubling up in most positions, and apart from Dreamer there on car or pit, is that he's playing quite passive. So I think Legacy are going to struggle here to get a pick, unless ofnu can take out Dreamer in pit. They can therefore take the A site. If they don't, though, this could be really, really bad for Legacy.
There's a quick Molotov into the pit there. Dreamer is lurking below with an AK. He looks to be in a very, very dominant position. Now they are going to try to make their way through quad, but they don't have a split or anything like that, so all attention from all the E-Frag players will be on this one focal point. And mizu will make an entry into the site, but the quick returns are coming here. Nice spin around there from Moku to find the kill onto NKL, but still, he is the last left, and he is low, and now finally eliminated by E-Frag. So they're going to pick up the first weapon round, and their money's going to be so good because of the way that they saved 3 rifles on a pretty much a full eco rounds just previous to this. So big swing, and Legacy are definitely not looking in good shape at the moment.
Yeah, Legacy just buying up a couple of smokes, some nades, and a few pistols to go along with that. Maybe going for some kind of plant strategy. Not going to want to force up against this. Just going to want to be conservative, save their money, buy up next round, and that should be probably the better decision at this point.
Yeah, we do have AD Eagle at least on Raz, so potentially maybe he can get some damage in with that. But we'll see Apartments now slowly in control of the Oceanic side as they make their way up Banana at the same time. So looking for damage all over the place. But E-Frag look quite strong positionally, and they will find the first frag there. ofnu dead out of Boiler. Moku trying to capitalize on a reposition, not going to do it. And now it's just the players on Banana for Legacy to give them something to work with.
Yeah, this Deagle is all I'm really thinking that can even try and come out huge from the first happy position here. He's going to be pushing out. Raz is just going to get shut down though. And the rest of the players I'm sure will follow as this Molotov just holds them back from pushing any further. But Busta, actually a really good position, has managed to flank all the way around into construction. And I don't think they have a clue about this. Bubble is going to be sneaking up slowly, so maybe he knows, but they didn't see him at least. There we go, nice shot onto Busta. Will secure E-Frag the round. And no deaths at all is going to lead their money in a really good position once again. Yeah,
it's certainly looking quite good for E-Frag. They're starting to get into a nice bit of momentum here. We'll have a pause from E-Frag though, as apparently Bubble needs to restart his router, as you can all see. But generally speaking, I mean, I would expect E-Frag to be able to beat Legacy. Just they have been tidying up their CT sides quite dramatically since, I guess, a few months ago when they were in vogue. I suppose E-Frag was starting to do very well. I think that was at the A-Star Series, but I can't remember which one it was. Perhaps the last Star Series finals where they actually managed to take down Envious, and they started to really put their name on the map. Then they had some great results at APM as well, the Ace of Predator Masters in Germany around August time, where they were able to defeat TSM in a best of 3, as well as who else was it? It was TSM and somebody else. I guess TSM is a notable enough result to quote, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of prospects when it comes to that team. And so I'm curious on where the resurgence will be, because unfortunately, due to the nature with, I believe it was Dreamer, they weren't able to go to a major because he has a sketchy past.
Yeah, a VAC ban on one account is a bit of an issue at least, but either way, I hope to see E-Frag, kind of take this. I can imagine they will, as you said. We haven't really seen too much from the ex-Animal Squad lineup, really, apart from a couple of qualifications. We haven't really seen any event wins. So, that maybe gives E-Frag a little bit of an advantage with their online history in terms of that.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be the first real exposure for them to European teams, European styles, and just generally all across the board, from individual skill to tactics to strategies, and to finding all the nuances between different players on different teams, which a lot of the Europeans will take for granted. And they're going again to a DreamHack Winter in a couple of weeks for the Face It LAN finals in Jönköping, being the Oceanic team that qualifying ahead of the Chiefs, Direwolves. I'm not sure if they're still the same org, Direwolves, but also, of course, Immunity, and also Renegades, which is now,
North American, or in North America at least.
Exactly. So they managed to somehow top that, and they showed a lot of promise. So I'm very curious to see what they can do in Europe now, because every single team, actually apart from the Chiefs, I guess, of the top teams, has had an opportunity to really get in amongst in the North American teams boot camping events. Same with Europe. So this is, I mean, I don't want to judge them too heavily based on what we see here, because it's going to be a long road. A lot of practice is required, a lot of data to consume to get themselves up to scratch. But hopefully we can get the. Yeah, it looks like that was a fast reboot for the router there for Bubble. Much faster than mine, at least. All right, so back into the match, and E-Frag do indeed look quite strong at the moment.
Yeah, at least with 2 rounds on the board at the moment. They're going to want to kind of play off that and try and boost it up to as many as they can, at least on the CT side, although E-Frag, you know, well known for having dominant T-sides on, you know, all kinds of maps really, so I don't think they're going to worry too much if Legacy manage to take the upper hand, at least on this side. But, you know, as you said, E-Frag pushing up their CT side should mean hopefully they'll come out on top, and I'm imagining kind of a 9-6, you know, situation, maybe more, maybe 10-5, but that's what I hope to see from them at least. And, you know, Legacy could still surprise us. They picked up 3 rounds, but again, 2 of those were anti-eco, so of course you could kind of expect them, but at least they've done that, so they've got 3 rounds on the board, and that gives them at least some time, some chance to work into the CT half if they do manage to get completely steamrolled on the T side here.
And we'll also see the oceanic tactics come into play, as some smokes will allow them some extra added positioning and perhaps some awkwardness for E-Frag as they potentially try to take Arch. So I did look like they wanted to try to take Arch, maybe considering the B ramp with the lurk in the balcony. So they are spreading their players out quite a lot. So putting a lot of stock into their entry fragging here, and that's not going to happen so far. E-Frag defending, 2 quick kills. Moku's going to open up Arch side, but he is the only one standing there. They lost the guy at balcony, but he's going to find the 2nd kill, very necessary, as Raz has to force the issue through the flames with the smoke, and this is very awkward, and he's going to go down. Viktor with the kill, and Moku with 12 HP has got to get everything done, but the bomb looks to be planted at the very least.
All but a close. Molotov's just going to force him out of position. Left at 12 HP here, so it's going to be a real difficulty for Moku to find as he does peek out, but Viktor will come out on top of that engagement. Getting the defuse and a nice 3k from him is going to secure E-Frag yet another round.
Absolutely. Looking pretty damn good for them at the moment. I do fear for Legacy, but at least they got that pistol round and the 3 rounds. That's going to alleviate some pressure, because I would assume that they're thinking now, okay, you know, 2-3 more rounds, and you're in a pretty good place. Like, winning that pistol round really makes all the difference. Had they lost it, and let's say it'd be instead, you know, 6-0 or something potentially, then you're thinking, oh my god, we've got to get really 5 rounds to feel like we have any kind of buffer or comfort into the second half. So at least there won't be all that much pressure on Legacy, but they are needing to find some good answers here. And so far, their initial strategies haven't really been working against E-Frag. E-Frag have been hitting their shots, playing a pretty standard game, no real risk taking from them. And that seems to be doing the job.
Yeah, at least it's worked them on getting 3 rounds, and we are going to see Legacy go for a bit of a buy here, still conserving some money so they can go for the full buy next round, yet still getting Tech 9s and armor. Hopefully be able to get a bump on as well, so they will be able to utilize an AWP on the T side if they choose to, and Moku is going to be going for the smoke here, so we're expecting probably an Arch wraparound, maybe back towards the A site, some kind of fake. They haven't got any players in Banana, so I'm not expecting really a B push at this moment, and Bubble is going to be shutting down Busta there. Ofnu does get the trade though, and they've still got 4 players alive, so this is definitely doable, but they are going to struggle as Dream has a really good position, really dominant position in pit. He's going to be spotting out the first player, and NKL also following up with a nice headshot. Going to be going for the spray, but Raz is there to retaliate, and this is just going to be a bit of a shutdown now from the E-Frag players, leaving just Raz alone in this 1 versus 3. And they have rotated a player off of B, but he's going to be finally moving back, and Raz is going to be going down to spyleadeR there. So E-Frag securing yet another round, and Legacy should be able to buy up now.
Yeah, I mean, they'll have the buy in, but what are they going to do with it? I mean, E-Frag, they're a team that's... I mean, Bubble, I'm not sure if he's going to pick up an AWP. Indeed, actually, he's going to get tossed an AK. So, E-Frag, one of the teams which they don't really rely on an AWP. Bubble will pick it up from time to time, but generally they'll just play more low economy setups with just rifles, and they're very good at doing that. And, well, we got a mid push coming in from E-Frag. They want to shock, completely just rock the system of Legacy, and well, this fast push on apartments is going to make this round look quite strange, as the big rotation is going to come in from E-Frag, but looks like Legacy should be able to beat them onto the site, and indeed they should have a good opportunity at a plant as E-Frag do maneuver now for the retake, but smokes are down to make their life very annoying.
Yeah, and you can see Legacy have so many nades to hold them off. Another 2 smokes and a Molotov there on Raz, so they shouldn't have a problem holding this off, at least playing the time, just using all these smokes and flashes to their advantage at least. And although E-Frag are quite dominant on retakes, I can imagine Legacy are going to be able to hold this off with all the nades they've got and all the utility they've got. Time kicking low, and Busta gets a nice peek. He does find one, trade ball come out from Bubble, and now mizu is left on the site. He does find 2, and that's an incredible double kill, as Bubble also gets taken down from Apps, and that's going to be a solid round for Legacy, which was really interesting to see actually. E-Frag just pushing straight aggressive down mid. We do see them do that quite a lot in Inferno, and it tends to be that the T's are usually, you know, pushing up Banana, trying to take mid control, and E-Frag just completely shut them down. But the reason that didn't work is obviously because Legacy pushed all 4 players up second mid and into apartments, and E-Frag wasn't expecting that, and therefore didn't have any players on the A site. So that's going to enable Legacy to pick up their 4th round, which was very solid from them. Sadly, we are going to see Busta still on a Galil here, but the rest of the players going for the full buy, getting some nades, getting some AKs, as E-Frag obviously have quite a strong economy at the moment, are going to be able to buy up again. Still no AWP on Bubble.
Quite funny to see the just blind counter strat, the perfect counter strat, completely blind. That's going to give Legacy a bit of breathing room, but E-Frag can also reset their economy. Let's see how much damage they can do in this round. Looks like Legacy are gearing up for a simple B play, but Bubble's already going to take down the Lurk, who was attacking a little bit preemptively there, pushing up towards Arch side, and eliminated now as the push comes in from Legacy. All these Molotovs are looking quite good here from Legacy, pushing Viktor into the open spaces to be gunned down by ofnu, and the bomb will be planted, and this will be a pretty hard ask, this retake for E-Frag. There's still a couple nades left on the Legacy players as they wait for NKL to get in position on Banana, but he is going to have his own trials and tribulations as there are 2 players waiting for him.
Yeah, I can imagine he's going to go down here. He does find one actually onto ofnu. Trade will come out, so a nice position from mizu, but still 2 players left on E-Frag. They're going to be pushing it together. Quite low ammo though, and Busta's going to be shutting down Dreamer as Bubble gets the refrag, and now he's going to get completely destroyed there in construction. And Legacy taking yet another round, so actually proving quite a strong T side at least at the moment on this best of 1. So of course, E-Frag being the kind of the expected winner of this, Legacy being the underdogs, you can see upsets like this, especially on best of 1s. You know, and Legacy are doing quite well at the moment. I can definitely imagine they could maybe push this forward and gain up a couple more rounds as E-Frag are pushed into a force buy situation.
Yeah, E-Frag can often be quite deadly when their back's against the wall. And they're going to play a 3-man setup towards B, not aggressively, so essentially just play the trades against any banana control of Legacy and try to bait them into the 3rd player. But looks like they will have a rotation now as the rush timing has gone, so that 3rd player will be floating now. Although E-Frag look like they are very much without information, as that floating player is still actually hanging around more towards B than towards A, as you would expect, considering there's just 2 players towards A, and that push is now coming from Legacy and E-Frag. They need to know about this. They're actually going for the rotation. They've got a good read on the situation. The entry will be found by Busta, so still a very strong chance for Legacy to win this round.
Yeah, Dream is still here in the pit though. They're going to push out, and there we go. He's going to take down 1. NKL on the side, also finishing off mizu there. Busta's going to pick up a double, but still, it's all in vain as Viktor pulls out the M4 and finds the last onto Busta there. So finally, E-Frag regrouping and managing to put another round on the board. Should be able to buy off of that, but you can look, obviously, the fragile CT economy. They aren't going to have a complete full buy here. They're not going to have full nades, and they're going to have to go for Famases on a couple of the players. You can see NKL and Bubble both picking those up, and they'll obviously be able to buy nades if they submit to Famases at least, because they're going to have a less expensive rifle. And Legacy are going to be pushing to eco there, so down to Tech 9s, couple of nades as well on Busta and mizu, but the rest of that is kind of no armor apart from Busta. So I don't imagine Legacy are going to gather too much out of this round. Maybe they can get a bomb plant at most, and they have got all 5 up onto B, so this could definitely be quite interesting to see if spyleadeR will be able to hold this down. He needs to get a further pick. The Molotov's going out too deep, and Moku's going to push up. spyleadeR will find one. The trade is coming out, and Viktor's still alone in the site. He's also going to get one onto ofnu, and if they can get the bomb plant, it'll be a successful round.
Yes, they will get the plant, but they are very unfavored to hold this. 4 players ready to go in together from E-Frag. Busta right at the back of the site by new boxes. Let's see if he can do some extra damage. Very low on health. Still a lot of nades that can sail in here. Rat's going to pick up an extra kill, so that's actually pretty nice. But that's going to be that. And still pretty surprised how E-Frag in the previous round were able to win that. I think they just decided to go for a gamble and just they got a tiny bit of information to aim, and just all rotated there immediately, because I don't think they actually had the information as to what was going to happen, but they just beat Legacy to the site on the rotation because there were only 2 players on that site. So that's that call. I'm not sure who would have made it. NKL is usually the caller on the team, so if he was the one that made that call, it's a very smart thing indeed. And Legacy now, they will have another buy, but they're starting to wane when it comes to the money situation, and they are going to be moving into potentially a 4-man stack here from E-Frag. 3 men deep in apartments for E-Frag.
Such a nice read from E-Frag. Dreamer and NKL are both going to come out large with kills of their own. Busta does get the refrag, but look at that position from NKL, just runs through the smoke, jumping shot onto Busta and finishes off ofnu. So E-Frag taking the 7th round there, or their 7th round there, while Legacy are left to an awkward economical situation. You're going to have to be going for the eco here.
Yeah, so Legacy only actually really winning 2 buy rounds against buy rounds of E-Frag, and E-Frag in one of those had, of course, oh no, sorry, actually, I'm mistaken, but yeah, two full buy rounds against 2 full buy rounds so far. So E-Frag re-controlling the situation as Legacy go for a mostly Kevlar-less push up middle with Tech 9s. This is going to be rough for Legacy, most likely. Entry is found, but we get some fast returns. A team kill, though, from mizu is not going to go down too well, but they have got a couple kills on the board, which is nice. And they might just very well get the bomb down if they can cross Dreamer, but it looks like Dreamer is too well positioned here.
Yeah, but Moku has a good position. He could definitely get the bomb down. One player is coming in from mid, so they're probably going to catch him if he does go for the short plant. And just slowly inching around the site. This is perfect play from E-Frag, not getting too aggressive. This bomb plant should be found if they don't choose to get too aggressive on it, and they will. Just getting into the site. The bomb will go down. Viktor's going to find that kill, though, and E-Frag securing another round. But Legacy getting the bomb down on, you know, what was almost a full eco, apart from a couple of P250, so at least they should be happy with that, and they will be going for the buy finally.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty big play there from Moku, to be honest, to actually find like the perfect spot, and that was milliseconds. That was a case of like probably like 50 to 150 milliseconds of a space with which to get the bomb down at the end there, just getting killed in the nick of time. So we'll have to see, or getting the plant in the nick of time. We'll have to see whether they can actually use this money in a good way now. They do have a lot of Molotovs to use, and we saw them use those on the B site really, really well previously. I wonder if they're going to go for something similar, because that's some of the most successful rounds that we've seen from them, just displacing and getting the entries of the B defense of E-Frag. But Raz is here, trying to deal with this aggression. Bubble's going to get the frag, and that is the presence of Legacy completely neutralized on Banana.
A lot of damage to come off of it, onto Bubble's side at least, but the pick is always more important in this case. And you can see Legacy are going to be retreating, going back towards the A site where 3 of the players lurk. spyleadeR would be interesting. Smoke is going to find one. That's Busta going down. The Molotov will follow up in the smoke and the flash coming through. But Moku is going to finally shut down spyleadeR. So that's a bit of a revenge frag there, and they can definitely wrap down to B if they want to. Moku will do as the bomb goes towards A. This could be interesting. He could definitely catch some rotates here, and it seems that ofnu will get a nice Molotov kill onto NKL, and therefore Moku finding that refrag onto Bubble there over in CT spawn, and that's going to give Legacy this, the advantage here. 2 versus 3. They haven't punished him. They are finally going to do so, leaving just Viktor in this 1 versus 2. So not a lot of nades left on Legacy. They have got a smoke and a flash on mizu, but you know, if Viktor tries to turn this into 2 1v1 engagements, he could definitely come out on top. You know, having very superior aim, at least to most of the players in his team. This will be interesting to see whether Legacy will allow him to take the round, or if they will both challenge him together. And he's going to be pushing up. He doesn't know both of their positions. So perfect play. He's going to find one, and the refrag hasn't come out. So Legacy just going for the 1v1s, and now he's just going to be jumping up, going round, trying to get the flank when he does find it. So yeah, Legacy, as I said, 2 1 versus 1s. That will leave E-Frag coming out on top. The defuse is just going to be done in time, and that's going to be 9-5.
Kind of crazy how I'm not sure how often he got Molotov killed there. Hit that. I mean, there was he ran away, and there was like a good couple of seconds, and then somebody died from being toasted, and I was like, what? How did that?
Yeah, it was probably one of those players who just sit in.
So the molly did 400 damage. So you must just have not realised at all.
It's probably one of the players that sit in the molly for 2 or 3 seconds and then run out at the last second. And you know, the T player would have already looked away from the Molotov, thinking, oh, he would have run out by now. And obviously, it didn't go too well.
It's very strange indeed. Either way, as we saw, Viktor did save the day for E-Frag, putting it to a 9-5. So we're into the last round of the first half. And Bubble finally picking up an AWP as well as spyleadeR. So really big mix-up coming in from E-Frag for the last rounds, bringing out all the guns. And Bubble is looking for more repositioning towards Arch side, and this might be the play that catches these guys off guard, these Oceanic players. But Buster's on point. He's going to take the frag onto Bubble, and a path has been cleared through Archway, and they are going to take that and sprint straight through. spyleadeR's going to catch a tag onto the back there. Raz, I think, oh no, I think it was actually Moku. And we'll get some smokes into the A site. So E-Frag realized that they can kind of just hold Legacy in position. This is very delicate business though, because as soon as one CT goes down, once again the floodgates will be open.
We're going to be wrapping around to D, it seems like. spyleadeR's going to find one, but Buster is there with the return frag, and there's only one player left on B, so this is a good play from Legacy. If they can find this onto Viktor, they can definitely take this round, but no, Viktor's going to be shutting down 2 of the players, leaving Raz left with this AWP, fighting 2 more off. So that's NKL and Dreamer, and they're going to be coming in hot, both from separate positions, so Raz is going to be going for the fake, going to be peeking out with it. We'll find that one frag onto Dreamer, and now there's just 1 versus 1. He's got so many nades to work with, but the flash and the push is going to come in, and NKL is going to take it. So that's E-Frag going 10-5, as I expected as well, which is a very, very solid play from both teams. I think Legacy did a lot better than at least we assumed an Oceanic team would do against the Bulgarian E-Frag here.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's just very well done for Legacy that they actually managed to win the pistol round, because E-Frag, they did look pretty on point individually. We saw a lot of rounds where Viktor got way more kills, I think, than he should have done. For example, at the end of that last round, I feel like Legacy should have been able to win that one, but Viktor's there getting 2 kills, spraying them down in really long ranges. And I think that they should have been able to kill him. Like, he should have been able to get max 1 frag there. So, and Viktor with that also pretty nice 1 versus 2. Another situation which really should be massively favored for Legacy. But I mean, again, it's partly to be expected. E-Frag has some really sick individual plays from these players, especially Viktor and Dreamer. We saw some good stuff from NKL as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see how their CT side actually fares, because I would assume that that should be easier for them, typically. But at the same time, they are playing against E-Frag, and against E-Frag, you never know quite what to expect on their T sides. They are very unorthodox.
Yeah, definitely true. We've seen a lot from E-Frag, at least not just in this game, obviously, as we haven't seen their T side, but many other games. You find that E-Frag, although they can do well on the CT side, and obviously they just did there, they obviously have far better T sides a lot of the time on maps that shouldn't technically be T sided. So Mirage, Inferno, you find that they're very strong, at least on that, and I can imagine that's going to come into play, and I can imagine E-Frag are probably going to come out on top of this half.
Yeah, absolutely. So we can quickly check the brackets, as there's a slight delay, and hopefully it won't be too long so we can get back into the action. And as you guys can see, here are all the teams. And, well, Greyface, kind of a Swedish mixed team, making a bit of a resurgence. So definitely not names that you usually expect, or not names that I usually would get to cast, actually. So quite curious how this is going to turn out. But I can't imagine E-Frag not making it all the way, to be honest.
Yeah, I think E-Frag are probably going to come out on top, followed by maybe Greyface in second place. Legacy and Dead Pixels are kind of the underdogs in these two situations. I think they'll probably be going to the losers match, but you never know. You can see upsets in these best of ones, so I definitely wouldn't count out any team. Although we obviously see E-Frag as the more dominant team, upsets are really prevalent in best of ones. And you know, if a map's not going your way and you lose 2 pistols, it could definitely go to the underdog at least. So you got to take that into account when you're looking at these brackets.
Yeah, I just really hope that Legacy are able to get themselves into the finals again, potentially against E-Frag, because I will predict E-Frag to win, because I just want them to get as many games out as possible. Because I'm really thinking, you know, what is the LAN result going to look like for them? Because you know, that to me is the most interesting storyline there. The kind of the new blood, essentially. What are they going to offer? Because they're going to be an unknown quantity to pretty much all of the teams that they'll be up against. So that's pretty awesome, and there is a lot of individual skill there. So once they find their feet, it's going to be quite interesting. Still no information as to the nature of the delay or how long it's going to be, so we might just take a quick break here, guys. As okay, sorry. Okay. New information. The home pause is going to come in about 30 seconds, so that changes things.
spyleadeR just said he was switching internet, I think, just as the end of the half, so that was why.
Gotcha. Okay, interesting. That happened to, was it Bubble as well?
Yeah. I think Bubble lagged out or something at the beginning. I'm not too sure. Yeah, but spyleadeR was just switching at the beginning, at the halftime, just so he could go onto a faster net, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I would expect this game to be pretty easy free frag. I mean, when it comes to the CT sides, again, I've casted Legacy when they were Animal Squad in the Face It League, and I think I mostly saw them playing Cash and Mirage. I don't think I ever saw them on Inferno.
No.
So I don't really have any data to go from when it comes to Legacy's matches. And well, E-Frag, very good test. We'll have to see whether Legacy can thin out the push before it gets to them, or whether those Glocks are going to be closing the distance and getting and punching those numbers in on the C4 there to get a fast bomb plant.
We've already seen a dink actually from one of the Legacy players onto Bubble with a USB, which is quite rare to see at least. Usually tends to be one-shot headshot, but obviously a long range from CT mid just all the way down to ramp, and Bubble's going to be left on 2 HP, so only escaping by the skin of his teeth there. And Legacy, if we look at their buys, they've actually not gone for a very armor-based buy. Only 2 armor players. That's going to be Busta and ofnu. The rest are going for nades, pistols, and of course a kit on Raz. So maybe E-Frag can take advantage of that if they go for these body shots, get the same punch, and then render Legacy completely useless. But Moku's going to find that first frag onto Bubble. Nice one tap there with a CZ75. Viktor's going to be getting the refrag over on the A side, actually picking up 2 as well. So now it's a 4 versus 3, and E-Frag have a really good advantage, and they're going to wrap around back towards the A site with only 1 player left on it. That's going to be ofnu. Going to be going for the 1 tap. Not going to land it as Viktor comes in again with a triple kill, finds that shot onto him, and now the bomb is going to be going down. So only 2 players left, and spyleadeR is going to shut down 1, leaving just Moku. I don't imagine he's going to gather too much from this round with at least a CZ and the amount of ammo he has in it left. He does find 1, but Dreamer is going to finish him. So E-Frag taking that pistol round, and that's going to be both pistol rounds. Oh, sorry, not both pistol rounds. The second pistol round is going to be going to E-Frag. Legacy obviously taking the first one.
Yeah, looks like another pause is going to be coming in, but yeah, Viktor is playing great for E-Frag at the moment, really saving them, and so got a minute to kill here. And E-Frag will actually pick up a Mac 10 on NKL. It'd be nice if we could actually see the buy on Bubble and Viktor as well, but the cool thing about the Mac 10s and general SMG play is that it actually allows you to get away without nearly as many grenades because you can clear positions very quickly, jumping around corners, and whilst firing, something you can't really do reliably with a rifle. But with the SMGs you can, and also with the SMGs, the players are much more expendable. You don't worry as much about giving away those SMGs. So it allows you to get faster positioning, and it also allows you, or faster map control, and also allows you to get a cheaper map control essentially because you don't have to spend so many nades. So I'd be curious to see how NKL's going to be using that, if he's going to be fact finding, get the clipboard out and see if he can find the stack from Legacy, because it looks like they're going to force buy.
Yeah, I can imagine that on the CT side. Force buys are quite useful at least, and Buster's going to be picking up a Deagle as well, so that'd be fun to see. Hopefully over towards the B site you can usually do some damage with that, and hopefully E-Frag will be back in soon, apparently suffering internet issues, so that's quite annoying, but not really much you can do about that, just waiting on them.
Yeah, looks like they're going to call the unpause though, and we're back into this, and we can actually see how E-Frag will handle this situation. I would expect NKL perhaps to just be poking around, actually likely poking around B. Actually, depends on how E-Frag want to go with this one. He could be poking around B, or he could be just going through the apartments, clearing positions. Now it'd be nice to see him poking around B just to see if he can find a stack, and Legacy remains to be seen whether they're going to play it like Envious. Envious very rarely actually stack bomb sites when they go for force buys. They actually spread all their players out, which is because they're also damn strong with pistols that you kind of want to spread them all out. But here we go. We've got the play from Legacy. It's indeed actually a stacked 4 players towards the A bomb site.
With 2 of them taking initial ups control, Viktor is going to punish one, and Dreamer also one of his own, so barely any damage taken from E-Frag. That's going to leave them in a really good position, at least with the advantage going into this round. And a 5 versus 3 with just CZ here on ofnu. He's also going to go down. These are just 1v1s getting punished at this point. I don't imagine Legacy are going to find really too much. Buster has potential with this Deagle here, but NKL does have this Mac 10, and really the fire rate of the Mac 10 with the amount of damage it does each bullet could definitely just completely shut down Buster if he doesn't land the initial first bullet.
It's quite cool what he's doing as well, like the AD movement there, because if there was a player who was slowly peeking down, looks like Buster will actually get a frag as well. Well, he's down quite low. Let's see if I can finish the point. Yeah, so if a player was actually to peep that angle, then he might even see a pixel or a couple pixels of a shoulder, and then he might be actually give his position away by shooting, and then NKO can actually just allow his teammates to finish the job basically after baiting. So pretty cool defensive plays and tactics coming in from E-Frag there, just playing it incredibly safe.
Yeah.
And that's going to pay off massively, only losing 1 player.
Yeah, as you said, what we saw from E-Frag there is we didn't see a single bit of aggression up banana, up mid, up apps, anything. They just held, sorry, you could see even Viktor at the end of the round just holding apps and completely shut down the last player. E-Frag just didn't need to push, and they just expected Legacy to completely rush them, and that's exactly what happened, and Legacy are now going to be forced into almost a full eco here, just a P250 and a nade on Raz, and everyone else is going to be going for their default pistols here, so nothing too much on Legacy in terms of equipment. They are going to be going for a default triple, a quad towards a quad stack, and that's going to be where E-Frag are challenging. But with this amount of equipment on E-Frag, I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue. spyleadeR is going to take a dink down for 2 HP, but still entry fragging, still completely not put off by that. Bubble will manage to find that frag instead. Now they're just going to wrap around towards a B site at least, or into library.
This is actually really cool as well, because this allows them to actually get better engagements technically, and NKL is going to find a perfect engagement. Speaking of, in the back with the CZ, but will come into play by Arch side as well, and the bomb will now be afforded a plant on the A bomb site. So it's just going to be Moku left with that USP, and definitely not a lot that he can potentially get done with this one, as E-Frag once again looks like they're only going to lose a single player, which is a great result for them. And they're going to be on 13 rounds, and Legacy are going to have a buy, but because they force sport, they're not going to have a lot of grenades, not the most grenades in the world, unless they opt for FAMAS, and there's definitely not going to be an AWP unless they opt for glass cannon. So no, they can't even afford an AWP. No one saved enough. So this is a rough situation for Legacy, to say the least. And if they don't win this round, E-Frag already go to 14, and they have to basically force buy. So it's all on this round where they've got a Mag 7 and 4 M4s and limited utility.
But one thing to pick up on the previous round, just as we go into this one, we did see E-Frag smoke off long and then push into Arch to kind of fake a split to B, and then we can see Legacy push 3 players off the A side all the way to run towards Arch. That's where we saw NK on live and shut them down. E-Frag actually didn't rotate all the way to B. They just held CT until Legacy pushed them. Legacy getting a bit impatient. Obviously it wasn't eco, but getting a bit impatient there did completely punish them, as you could see. You know, NKL getting that double kill with that CZ75. So E-Frag, very nice T-side play from them, and we can see a bit of a banana aggression here coming out from Moku as the smoke is about to fade out. They are going to be flashing him through, but he's going to get stuck there on the wall. Very unlucky, and NKL will punish him for that. So if he didn't get stuck there, that could have been a really big play from Moku. And we still see Busta quite far pushed down, but I can imagine E-Frag are going to be worried of this banana now that they know, you know, there was a bit of aggression coming out from Moku. So Busta should be in a pretty punishable position, at least in terms of E-Frag, and that Nate is going to give away his position as well. So they know he's there for sure, and although Legacy are down a man, we are going to see E-Frag push up towards the A site, where the rest of the 3 players out of 4 are holding.
And we got the slow creep onto Arch side now. Raz is waiting patiently with the Mag 7, as the smoke will block him away from his awesome engagements that he was salivating in anticipation on. And we've got ofnu there in the pit. He could definitely help out. Raz is trying to get something done here from Ivy, but he's been just completely made redundant with these grenades and forced to basically run out of library into a very unfavorable position, just leaving Buster alone in the 1 versus 3. The positioning on E-Frag is fantastic, and Dreamer's going to get it done. And Legacy now have a horrible situation at hand because they don't have any money, and they have to buy, basically, unless they want to play for overtime, like, well, which is fair enough. I mean, at this point, you can make an argument either way. It looks like they're actually going to go for the overtime play. Yeah,
I think with E-Frag's dominant T-sides, there's not really much point in Legacy going for the force buy. You can just imagine it's just going to be shut down. Obviously, E-Frag will just probably play passive, expecting it. And you can see it's exactly what they're doing, just playing passive, expecting some kind of aggression from Legacy, as we saw in the previous eco a couple of rounds ago. So really nothing too aggressive. Viktor playing the same spot where he punished two players on the 3rd round of this half. So yeah, E-Frag just playing it slow, expecting Legacy going to be going for the buy. Of course they didn't, so that's going to be a bit of a surprise at least, but they should be able to get some Famises, maybe some M4s out in the next round.
And the cool thing with E-Frag is they realize they don't have to do anything special. They can just relax and just allow the opponents to make mistakes, as they've just played pretty solid basic CS, abusing their individual skill. And we are going to see now the push up onto Arch side. 3 players though for Legacy. Nicely timed pop flash will allow ofnu to pick up 1 kill. Moku goes in as well. He'll find 1, but the trays come in immediately. Now, how is this going to turn out? E-Frag, it is a 3-on-3, and Raz with a nice 1 dig there onto Bubble. Now we've got some issues here potentially for E-Frag, but it is just Raz versus 2, and spyleadeR lies in wait. He's going to get the round for his team. And it's just 1 more now as they reach match points, and Legacy, they will get the big buy, but they need 10 rounds in a row. Yeah,
the issue is you've just got to look at this realistically and go, okay, do you really think Legacy are going to take 10 rounds in a row to force us to overtime? And I think most people here are going to go for the obvious answer, which is, you know, against E-Frag, no chance. They do go for the double AWP, so, you know, trying to keep themselves in this game, obviously, you're not going to want to throw it. And really, I just think E-Frag are probably going to come out on top in the next 2 to 3 rounds and just take this.
I mean, I would never go full Moses, but I'd say like less than 1% chance for them. Yeah. never go full Moses.
Yeah, it's just unrealistic at this point. Viktor is going to get that entry on top. mizu is just caught out of with his knife out, sorry, and they're just going to get the bomb plant now. So a 5 versus 3, and the retake is on. The 2 AWPs on a retake. This is going to be a difficult situation for Legacy, to say the least.
Yeah, it's pretty much the most awkward ask when it comes to retakes is, well, we have these sniper rifles, and you put all these smokes down. Great.
Yeah, look at these nades going out there. There's hundreds, complete flashing and smoking onto them with the side. Viktor is going to find 1 onto Moku, and now just Buster and Raz are left alive. Spray through the smoke, he's going to land the headshot, so whatever really, whatever floats your boat. And Viktor is going to come out on top of that round, finding I think 3 frags there, and E-Frag taking it 16-5, so that's going to be them progressing.
Alright, well that is E-Frag with a predictable victory, I would say, over the Oceanic team. Couple players from New Zealand, 3 from Australia. Have to see how they'll fare when it goes to when they go to the loser matches. But we'll take a quick break here, guys, on the Red Dot Invitational. We'll be back in about 10 minutes for the next match.